Good afternoon. I'm Chief Pete Gauntlett of the St. Cloud Police Department. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Approximately 3 months ago, the St. Cloud Police Department Criminal Investigations Division, Street Crimes Unit, in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Justice Drug Enforcement Administration, began an investigation into the sale and distribution of heroin throughout our city. The city of St. Cloud, over the past year, has had 11 related heroin overdose deaths. And as a result of those deaths and many other documented overdoses, this heroin was determined to be a massive contributing factor in all of these cases. On May 25th, the St. Cloud Police Department Street Crimes Unit and the DEA completed 6 search warrants in various locations throughout the city. Determined or based upon undercover sales and the use of heroin and other dangerous narcotics. Locations included 334 Dakota Avenue, 2003 Oak Street, 1425 Alabama Avenue, 724 Minnesota Avenue, apartments 3C, 4C, and 8A. During the service of these search warrants and subsequent roundup of suspects, 21 drug dealers were arrested and 7 suspects currently are at large, in which we're seeking their apprehension and the public's assistance in locating them. Additionally, 50 felony search warrants or felony warrants were issued, and the following was seized: 29 grams of heroin, 202 grams of cocaine, 14 grams of methamphetamine, 2 grams of methadone, and 3 crime guns were also seized. I might also note that during this past year, the City of St. Cloud Police Department has made over 432 drug arrests. Substantial numbers, folks. And as a result of these arrests today, we have seen a dramatic shift in a lot of the attitudes on the street when it comes to illicit drug sales. As you know, just a few months ago, less than 6 months ago to be precise, we completed another dual operation with the federal assistance of DEA called Rolling on the River, in which 53 arrests were made. And this is a direct conjunction with that previous case. And tying these 2 cases together, we hope to continue to make a substantial impact, particularly in the heroin sales and the deaths of so many people within our community. We're dedicated to continue going forward. And folks, one of the major concerns we have in any community is the illicit drug sales and the use and the addiction of those drugs, how it impacts our local crime statistics. When our neighborhoods are concerned about their safety as a result of the drugs and the drug usage and the crimes that are committed in order to maintain the addiction to those, is why we do drug operations like we have, that we're talking about today. If you look at the board here, you can see for yourself the photographs of the suspects, the locations of the suspect, the houses that were raided, and the arrests that were made. And without any further ado, I want to bring up a partner of ours who has been through this process with us time and time again. And that's Jeff Walsh, who is the special agent in charge of the DEA field office here in Orlando. And I personally want to commend Jeff, his entire staff of the DEA, and personally would also like to thank Sheriff Bob Hansel for the Sheriff's assistance through this process as well. Jeff, come on.
Thanks, Chief. Good afternoon. Thank you everybody for coming. I can't really add a lot to what Chief Gauntlett said. I will tell you that the DEA remains committed with St. Cloud to work these organizations, what we refer to as urban crime networks. You'll notice that, you know, in the media today, the Chief and I were just talking, we tend to talk about a lot of negative things. Why that is, I'm not really sure. And while you might interpret a story like today where a lot of bad people are out there in the city, and this is a good story, it's not a bad story. And I would like to focus my comments pretty much on not only, I commend the Chief and the entire St. Cloud Police Department and their staff, along with my agents. My agents tell me they're some of the most dedicated and passionate investigators they've ever worked with, and the Chief is very passionate about maintaining and increasing the quality of life for the citizens here in St. Cloud. This is all part of that. Some of you were here for Rolling on the River several months ago, and I think at that press conference I said, oh, we'll be back if there's work to be done, and sure enough, here we are. So, but I want to commend the investigators. It goes unnoticed a lot, but the detectives and the agents, this is not something that comes easy. While these might not be the most sophisticated organizations, as you can tell by some of the people like McMasters and Malone here, dangerous people. And past behavior is indicative a lot of times of future behavior. So it's very good to have these people off the street. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time they spend away from their family and their personal lives, and a lot of danger they put themselves in to get us to this point. I'm very proud of the job that everybody did. I couldn't have a better partner than Chief Gauntlett in St. Cloud, and I commend the detectives, my agents, and like I said at Rolling on the River, and I'll say here at Trackmark, if there's still work to be done, we'll be back.
Thank you, Jeff. And it kind of goes without saying, when we talk about heroin dealers, we're talking about a different breed of people. We're talking about people that will basically peddle this poison on the streets in our communities and jeopardize our children and our neighbors as a result of what they do. And some of these folks are career criminals. They earn their living selling drugs, stealing from us, burglarizing our residents, burglarizing our cars, and that's unacceptable. As we continue to move forward, we're going to continue to target our drug dealers because it's our job to make certain our streets are as safe as possible. And as a result of that, our commitment to make this city grow and to flourish going forward is a priority. And moving with that, I want to echo what Jeff said, to thank the detectives that worked this case and worked the previous case, because when you combine the two operations, you've got over 80 drug dealers that have been apprehended and an awful lot of narcotics taken off the street. And that's what it's all about, folks. And I thank you for coming today. If you have any questions, we'll try to answer those as we move forward. Thank you.
Can you tell us, Chief, are you seeing a difference in the, I guess the amounts of drugs that you're seeing? More heroin, more fentanyl, less cocaine, less marijuana? I mean, how's that balancing out in the past year and a half compared to the way it was maybe 5 years ago?
You know, one of the things that's had a substantial impact in recent timelines. A year or two ago, we were talking about the pill mills and the highly addictive problem with a lot of the pill and the pain clinics. And as a result of a lot of work across the board at every level, you're not seeing quite as much discussion. As a result, you're seeing heroin has become the substitute. And that's a little scary because people don't know what they're ingesting. And oftentimes they're ingesting narcotics that are 10 times the potency of what they think they are. So if their addiction isn't bad enough, what they're actually putting in their bodies is basically a fatal cocktail before they even know it. Just this weekend, our officers responded to a local restaurant and found a male in a bathroom, completely passed out, on the verge of death, literally, with a syringe in his arm. They were shooting up in the bathroom of the local restaurant. And fortunately, they were able to get to him, I think, in close enough timeline to save him. Those are just that's one example of many that are out there. But the drugs are across the board. But particularly frightening right now is the spiking, if you will, of what's going on in the heroin side of this. Well, thank you all for coming today, and we do have some additional packets Sergeant Roberts will provide to you on the details of the operation. Thank you again for coming.